prepared yet.
You need to try and pick off the units as.
Look at the shields on the mark themselves.
Oh my god, the drone's gonna take him.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to another matchup here for the IPL Season 2. We are in the loser round brackets, and that, of course, means that at the end of this best of three, one of these players will unfortunately be eliminated from the IPL Season 2. Of course, it's got to happen if you want to have a winner, so we can all shed our tears and wipe them away, but this is how champions are crowned. I'm DJ Wheat from OneMoreGame.tv, and we have got a best of three between DarKFoRcE and BratOK, or BratOK. Just depends on how you want to look at it. We got BratOK as the red Terran spawning in the northeast position, and he is going up against this Zerg player, the blue Zerg. It's DarKFoRcE. And we've got a nice little sort of Euro-Russian clash here, as BratOK is a Russian. He was a Brood War player, also did play Terran in the early days of Brood War, I guess throughout his entire career. And, you know, he's been invited to a lot of competitions, but unfortunately has been somewhat scarce on the international scene due to visa issues, you know, just scheduling problems, etc. However, very, very accomplished gamer, as he actually took third in the 2008 Razor TSL and has been the victor in several online StarCraft 2 competitions, including Europe, and is now competing in several North American online competitions, just like the IPL. And let's check out over here DarKFoRcE from Team Germany. And no, actually from Alternate Attacks, Team Alternate, and also a member of Team Germany. If you didn't know, there's a bunch of players that are all hail from Germany, and they call themselves Team Germany. And DarKFoRcE is a Zerg who's had both success online and at some offline events as well. So we've got a expansion gas pool build here from DarKFoRcE, as he's going to go ahead and utilize his pocket expansion. It will be scouted here by BratOK as he sends his SCV up to go, okay, I know what's going on here. And this will put the Zerg DarKFoRcE at a pretty good advantage here going into this game. You know, there are some differences to take in this one. We do have a Vespene Geyser, just the one up in the pocket expansion, and then there are 6 mineral patches versus the 8. However, as you can see, the only route in there by ground is this ramp right here, so it is susceptible to drops, which, of course, versus a Terran opponent could very much be a possibility later on in this matchup. Already 2 Marines sitting out here at the front. Not sure if that actually is going to be an indication that we might have some early pressures. Marine number 3 is moving forward. This SCV was inside doing the dance, but it's not really a place. You can't really bunker rush here or anything crazy like this because it's inside the opponent's base, and it means that it's relatively easy to defend. However, this SCV going to kind of hide himself over here, and I'm not sure if these Lings are going to actually go out. They might find these 3 and soon to be 4 Marines that are establishing themselves here at the Northwest Xel'Naga Cavern or Tower. And I was expecting, okay, so we're going to have a Hellion come out here. No add-ons as of yet. Looks like BratOK's going to throw down his expansion as well in the in that pocket expansion. And speed is going to be done soon with this one Hellion out. He's going to be used more as a scouting tool, possibly clear the vision away from DarKFoRcE here with these Hellions. Pretty difficult to take out if you don't have speed. However, that will be hitting fairly soon. 6 more Lings on the way right now from BratOK, just starting to get some drones here at the natural, and is still mining gas over here in his main. Still got this SCV right over here, and this SCV may not be doing anything like blocking the hatchery. However, what he will get is a valuable piece of information as far as when that third will be taken. Overlord is going to make his way into BratOK's space. There we see a tech lab going down on the factory, and that Overlord will go ahead and get taken out. But if we steal its vision momentarily, he will see the front. And I do believe he actually saw that starport as well. A bunch of Lings out now. And he did see the starport, did not see a tech lab on it, but with the positioning and whatnot, I think he's probably going to be able to preemptively put some things down to stop that. We do have the Evo chamber. Don't have any sort of spore crawler here yet. Of course, with vision here of the towers, if a Banshee comes out and happens to fly within that radius, he should be able to find it no problem. Now, SCV gets vision that the hatchery, the third, has been put down. And we're going to have this first Banshee making its way out right now. And it's scouted by that Ling. It is taken out, but he would have seen that. You've got an Overlord coming from the bottom. They'll be able to check for that expansion as well. And now this Banshee's going to be a little bit less effective. He'll be able to clear out the towers. But what he's done is he has given away his element of surprise. So we see a Spore Crawler going down right over here. We don't see a Spore Crawler in the main, but we do see a Baneling nest being constructed. No Spore Crawler at the third base as well. And so it looks like the Banshee's going to make its way over. Now, it will finish, but it would take a Banshee a day and a half to actually get rid of that hatchery all by itself. Enough for a Queen to build, or the Queens could hop down, or a Spore Crawler could be built over here and then walk down. So he's going to go ahead and bypass all this with his Lings. Some free kills will be picked up here by the Banshee from BratOK. Second, not a Banshee. We've got actually this dropship coming out here as the medevac is loaded up. And we will have an inevitable drop come down here. It stays right outside, but the Lings are quick to react. They're going to corner those. They do not take out even a single Marine. And with that Overseer, just making sure in case there is Cloak. There is not Cloak. So we do see a failed attack. However, not so much failed because he did not lose any units. Stim is now being researched. The Spire being put down while more drones are on their way out. But keep in mind, even though the Terran is on 2 base, he is on the smaller of the expansions and will eventually have to make his way out over here. One thing we do see some Terrans do is opt to go ahead and drop expansion somewhere kind of out of the normal expansion path of the Terran. Now, BratOK is moving out. The Zerg will get vision of this right here as he sees it with this tower, and he needs some Banelings. He's got those. He's got 34 Lings on the way, 16 Banelings in production. And this is a great little attack coming out from BratOK. He is going to go ahead and siege up right here. The problem with this is that you've got to go all the way around in order to take out these siege tanks. So these tanks effectively serve as a perfect defense for the Terran player. He can load and unload these Marines at will, heal them up, but the Zerg is going to have to do one of two things. Either take out these rocks, wait for his mutas to come out, or he's going to have to take a ton of damage, and that looks like what he's going to do. Now he takes out the front load of Marines. He does, it looks like he might take out that medevac, but it will not fall. The Queens do back off. There's 1 muta out, 3 more on the way. And once he has the mutas out, he can get rid of these siege tanks no problem. But when you've just got a Ling-Baneling combination, it's going to be very, very difficult. Marine's going to be dropped down once again. Ling tries to shoot forward. See if he can find out what's going on. I'm surprised he's not doing a little bit of spotting here with his Overseer as well. But you just put these few Marines down here with the power of a medevac healing up, and it'll be tough. He's also got this tank sieged up back here, so in case any units do manage to come around the back, he's still got 3 siege hits going down on there. And look at the Zerglings get completely wrecked. However, out come the mutas. He's just going to try to pick them off little by little. Baneling speed on the way. But a very good attack here. Very impressed by BratOK as using the map to his advantage. The Zerg, of course, if these rocks were taken down, might have a better chance. And now we've got 1 spine crawler up. He could possibly use that spine crawler to try to combat this. Going to be healed up. Trying to take out that medevac. That'd actually be a big, big kill for the Zerg player. And at this point, BratOK is taking this containment lead where he could sit here for a very, very long time. Sure, there could be an expansion out, but keep in mind he can always go ahead and flank here and flank an expansion. So he has kind of put the Zerg player in a position where it will be very, very difficult. Oh, the Banelings are basically worthless as the Marines are picked up. The mutas do not take out the medevac. And you just see more reinforcements streaming in here right now. The army supply 116 for BratOK, 133 for DarKFoRcE's muta count is starting to get higher, and he's got 5 more mutas on the way. Now, it might be a good opportunity for the mutas to be going out and doing a little bit of harass, but, oh, almost loses a muta there. That would not have been good. He needs to be very, very careful. He could poke in with these 5 more mutas coming out and possibly pick off one of these tanks. There's a medevac doing absolutely nothing and is going to be pulled out. There are some Marines on the way, and I'm just not really that fond of DarKFoRcE's engagements here. And quite frankly, I think that he was just caught a bit by surprise. More tanks and more Marines. Marines now at +1. They're getting their combat shield. They're getting their +1 shields as well. This base is now up for BratOK. And this third base will go down. Again, having just the 1 geyser and 5 patches, but that is a rich Vespian geyser. Oh my gosh, now missile turrets going up. Tanks drop to the low ground. And he will manage to take out that 1 missile turret. And possibly 2 tanks here. But in come a lot of Marines. They are going to get hit by those Zerglings, and some more coming in from the back, but putting themselves in a position where they can get some help from the siege tanks. And I apologize, guys. I'm scratching my head here a little bit thinking, you know, what can DarKFoRcE do? Because right now, BratOK just has this amazing contain. This might be the answer. Here comes a counterattack. He's actually going to take all of his lings directly into the main and see if he can do a lot of damage here. There is a Hellion, a lot of reinforcements moving back. He's going to be lifting several of these orbitals. Take a look at the income tab. We do see the Terran falling in the SCV count, but he does come back and takes care of it quite nicely. We'll get an extractor, refinery, and a missile turret as well. And then, unfortunately, we'll lose all those units back to the action here at the front. Missile turrets have gone up, making those mutas much less effective here. And I'm really surprised he hasn't gone in and just tried to snipe these 2. He's got the muta count. There is a bunker up top as well. He's going to have to sacrifice a couple of mutas in order to take out both these tanks. And that will help him. It gives a little bit more run-by room, a little bit more wiggle room for the Zerg player. But look at the amount of Marines and tanks now moving in a position. He might move these more forward here to the cliff, or he might join them up with his army. Another counterattack making its way around the map, and I feel like DarKFoRcE probably should have been doing something like that a while ago. However, he was really struggling to get that muta count up high. The one thing DarKFoRcE is also really missing from these engagements is the Baneling. However, you just don't... Oh, he's going to go in and try to go for the kill here. The bunkers will go down, Marines will fall, and everything will be cleaned up. He can get rid of that initial threat here that's been sitting at his natural for quite some time. But he needs to get those mutas out of there because the rest of the army now gearing up for a counterattack. He really needs a lot of Banelings here, and I do not think he has enough. Tanks are not sieged up quite yet, and in come the mutas from the back. They start to do some damage here to the tanks. A lot of Marines left over, but look at that. DarKFoRcE does manage to clean it up, and perhaps BratOK just got a little bit too greedy on that attack. I mean, he did get this area cleared up here. He had to move a lot of Marines away from the engagement. No tanks sieged up here, so a bit vulnerable for a counterattack, but he has a lot of Marines. Being mobile. He is on 3 base. His production is coming out of 6 racks and a single two factories. A single 2 factories, you know. It's an actual unit of measurement. A single 2 factories. And really with a great Baneling hit and the continued muta support, I think that there is now enough of an army here for DarKFoRcE, and he has gotten rid of that initial contain, that he might be in a good position. Here we've got some Marines moving up to possibly snipe this third. There are no banelings here. And if only he knew about it. The Mutas are incredibly out of position. There'll be a counterattack over here. The Mutas need to come back or he will lose this third. And also no banelings coming out. Only 7 Mutas and 20 lings on the way. But losing that, now he's going to have to make some banelings, or will he just continue with the counterattack? Oh my gosh, if he loses the natural, it's going to be bad news. And there are just too many Marines here, I think, for the amount. He's going to bring his drones out as well. Tanks are not here to help out with that ground force. The Muta count is falling quickly, and there might be too many medevacs here, and I think the answer is yes. Did DarKFoRcE give up a huge lead? His natural goes down as well. And Mutas are falling left and right. More lings being rallied out. Only a few Marines are left. There the tanks are up. But unfortunately nothing left to take out these Mutas. I cannot even believe this. So no mining currently. Or very little mining rather. So maybe some long distance mining. For our Zerg player, the Terran is still healthy. And look at this next attack he's got coming. I don't think that DarKFoRcE can handle this. He's just got a few Mutas. He really needs some gas. He's going to have to probably make some banelings and hope that he gets some very, very solid hits. But after a back and forth matchup that I thought for sure, and there it is, GG comes out, and DarKFoRcE, he looks like he's going to break the contain, and he does. We have a counterattack from BratOK that is completely shut down by DarKFoRcE, but then as he goes for the counterattack, another attack comes from BratOK. He takes out the third, or rather the fourth, and the third of DarKFoRcE, and there's just nothing that DarKFoRcE can do. The moment that he runs out of any sort of mining is the moment that he loses the game. He cannot reinforce his army, and that means that BratOK is up our first game here. A crazy one that went back and forth, and we'll be back for game number 2 here for the IPL Season 2.